up, everybody? I'm Spitballin. This is Reggie Steele. And welcome to Spitballin. Spitballin.
Yeah, dude, tell that story again. That's pretty funny. I don't know that
Uh,
movie.
Hey man, hold up. Let me blur my background. You got my business all out there in the streets. All right. There's a movie called Better Off Dead with John Cusack, and one of my favorite parts of the movie is that there's this kid throughout the whole movie who's just riding around on his bike like $2, $2, right? And it's established early in the movie. This kid goes up to him and he's like, "Hey, you owe me $2 for delivering your paper, right? I want my money." And he kind of brushes the kid off like, "Hey, kid, all right, I'll get it to you later. Get out of here. I got something else to do." And he leaves. And so throughout the whole movie, at different places and different scenes where it's completely unrelated to this kid, he'll have some scene with his girlfriend. He's talking and doing a thing, and they're driving along, and all of a sudden in the background you just see this kid on his bike, $2, $2, right? So
Come up here,
love two
buddy.
dollars, man.
Come on up. Come on up.
Love $2.
Does anyone see him? Oh, there he is. Bruno.
Bruno,
Look at oh.
yeah.
Hey, what the fuck?
So Sal is how is
I'm watching
dog
this
sitting.
dog, dude. He's freaking the
Yeah,
best, man. I,
dog sitting.
I love
We'll
me some
see.
Bruno.
Let's see how the dogs match up compared to the cats. Let's see who gets more clicks.
Oh, well, that's a good question. I mean, people do love the dogs.
They do, but
Uh,
they love them cats, man.
I had this people rolling last night on a movie reference because I don't know, it's just something I said and it sounded like the movie scene, and I was like, oh, remember that? I was like, remember that in a Wedding Singer where he's like, what's his name? Buscemi. He's like playing the guitar. He's like, yeah, that's right. No lessons, self-taught, no lessons. Thanks a lot, Dad.
That's awesome. That's funny.
Self-taught, no lessons. He's all drunk.
That's awesome. I knew a guy, I'm not gonna say his name, but I knew a guy who was self-taught on the drums, right? And he wanted to join a band. He tried to join a band, and they were like, okay, based on his self-taught and what he's done in other bands, they were like, okay, yeah, you can audition for us. So they sit him down and they give him the sheet music. They're like, all right, play this.
Oh, come on now.
And he's like, oh man, I can't play, I can't read music, right? He's like, but if you have somebody else play it, like, can somebody else play it? And then I can play it off ear, like I'll remember it and play it. Needless to say, he didn't make that band because the point is, if we got a guy who can play the sheet music, why do we need a guy rip, who can imitate or mimic the guy who's playing the sheet music, right?
Look,
Like,
man, the sheet music, that's for dorks. All right. You know who didn't read sheet music? Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, rock and roll, baby. You don't need no sheet music. Now, I
I
get it.
agree.
If you're going to learn some Bach from like, hundreds of years ago, then fine, you'll need your sheet music. But, come on. Come on,
Well,
man.
and look, and what I'll say about that is, and this is completely unrelated, but Kurt Cobain killed himself and Jimi Hendrix died of a drug overdose.
But
Maybe if they could read sheet music, it would have been a little different. No, I'm
no, I
kidding.
had nothing to do with it.
I
The
know, I
point
know.
is that you could read the sheet music, but they'll never hit those levels. You know what
Well,
I
how
mean?
about this? How about this? How do I say this? Those guys are at the top of where they were, right? They were able to do a thing at the top. So you get there, then yeah, you don't need to have sheet music. But if you don't start off as Kurt Cobain or Jimi Hendrix and have been doing a thing so much that you just figured out, then you probably need to read sheet
I
music.
mean,
And
look, dude.
then you get wild with it, right? I'm a person who believes as an artist, right? As a person who can draw and knowing people who paint and people who do other forms of artistry, I think there's some validity to learning the basics, learning the foundation first, and then having a firm foundation, and then exploring from there, knowing the rules, and then knowing what rules to break and how you want to break them.
I mean, I did
right?
take some lessons when I first played guitar, and the guy was trying to show me some sheet music. And you learn the notes and stuff, but it gets hard once you start doing the chords, and you just want to fucking jam. You don't want to read.
I
You know
get
what
it,
I mean?
man. I get it, but there's
You
something to
just
be
want
said.
to jam, man.
Yeah, I get it.
Uh,
There's something to be said though
I was
about
gonna
being
tell you
able to do the
about.
thing.
I did this one time when one of the first times I ever really jammed. I was hanging out with this friend of mine and back in Cleveland, and she and I would hang out, and I was getting like drunk, and I had my guitar.
Actively, like that was your goal. You just sitting there drinking
Oh,
beers to get
we
drunk.
would back in that day, man, we'd like sometimes go to these jam sessions to these practice spots where people had like rehearsal spaces. And yeah, you jam and you drink 40s, right?
Oh my God. Drink 40s.
Yeah, we had these 40s called Laser. It was the worst. They were 99 cents. We called them crackhead beers because
Oh
only
my God.
crackheads would
99
buy them.
cents? I'm
Yeah, for
surprised you're still
40.
alive.
Oh, bro, I remember hurling many a time from a laser. Like it was not good. But
Real quick, just to the world at large, if anyone's giving you a large quantity of anything for 99 cents, it's not good for you.
oh, not at all.
Not
So
even a little bit.
so one night after drinking some lasers, uh I wanted to go jam, and she played the bass and I played the guitar. And there was this place in our suburb called the Magic Unicorn, which was a coffee shop, and they had like a little stage there, and it was the beginning of internet cafes.
Okay. That's funny.
And so we went in there, and I was like, "Hey, can we jam up on the stage? Play this song?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Go ahead," right?
And you guys are drunk at this point.
I was a little drunk. I don't know. She
Okay.
was driving, so maybe not
Okay.
as. And so then I plug in, and I started playing Hendrix, Foxy Lady, right?
Mhm.
And now look, I'm probably a little sloppy. I can't remember how I was playing.
A little.
I'm playing it, right? And
Right.
and then we're getting through, and then and then we're getting to the solo, and I'm playing, and this guy was getting annoyed that we were there and making all this noise, right? The owner, I don't know if he's an owner or something, manager, and he's like, "Hey, get shut off." I'm like, "Oh, almost." And then he goes, "Huh," and he goes and shuts the music off, like
Wow.
shuts the sound, and I go, "The fuck?" I'm like, "You turn me off during Hendrix?" I'm like, "You don't shut up, Hendrix!" And I got really mad, right? And I like took his amp and I kicked his amp, right? And it rammed into
Whoa.
his wall and put a hole in his wall. He goes, "How the fuck you doing?" He's like, "Where that hole you just put in?" I'm like, "I didn't do that."
Oh my God. Sal, you're a bully.
And
Oh
then
my God.
all these like internet cafe people get up and like, "Hey," and then my friend, she's like, "I think we should go now." I'm like, "All right, fine. Don't turn me off during Hendrix."
Oh my God. You're an awful drunk, dude.
At that time, I had to get out of Cleveland, bro.
Yeah, you had to get out of Cleveland. They gave you an opportunity, and because they didn't like what you were doing, you kicked the
Oh,
amp and put a hole in the wall.
oh yeah, you don't shut it off during the middle of the song. Get the fuck out of here.
Dude,
I
there's
think we kind of talked ourselves into playing, and he didn't really like that. And then he looked for any reason, and yeah, dude, I remember that. It's pretty
That's
fun.
funny. Well, look, as a person who's known you for a long time and watched you be a part of your band, The Hacks,
All
and
right,
watching you on stage, watching you up there and
I think
getting
we
all
might
into
have a
it
clip of
and
that. Let
doing
me
your
see.
whole thing, and then just being like kicking and jumping and doing all this kind of shit. I'm like, Sal is legitimately channeling every like punk, heavy metal, rock band that he's ever seen in his life, jumping off stage, kicking over shit, doing the
Yeah,
whole thing.
yeah, that was the start of it. That was before I even.
Yeah. I was like, I looked at you then, I was like, this guy needs therapy. It's like he needs to talk to
I
somebody.
mean, well, hey, I mean, I remember. Yeah, dude. I mean, I didn't like Cleveland. I was working on this bit. I never really explored it much, but I was like, I wasn't. I was like, I wasn't really suicidal, but I was a suicidal flirt.
Oh boy.
Where, like, I remember one time we were hanging out and I was drunk and I wanted to climb up on the highway overpass, and I started climbing because I wanted to hang from it, like Jim Morrison would do and shit.
What in the fuck? Are you serious?
Yeah, my friend's like, no, no, what are you doing? And then another time I was drinking with my
Wait, wait,
buddy.
wait. Let me get this straight. You know, Jim Morrison died at 27, right?
Right, right, baby. 27 is the
The
rock and roll
27 Club.
age.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I'm just saying this.
it's fascinating to me that's the 27 Club, especially at the time, right? And
Mhm.
then another time I was drinking and I remember standing on the tracks of an oncoming train and my buddy was getting mad at me. And I was like, no, dude, come on. And he's getting pissed.
What? What was happening in your life that you were like, yeah, I'm gonna flirt with death, right?
All
I'm
the
just
time. I
gonna
know, like multiple times.
honestly, you know what though? I'm so glad you said this or you're telling these stories because this is the reason why there are more women in the world than there are men.
Yeah, yeah.
Although every year there are more boys born than girls, but there are more women in the world than boys or men
Mhm.
because men do dumb shit like stand in front of
Mhm.
oncoming trains.
Yeah, yeah,
Men
yeah.
hang from the overpass over a freeway. Men go base jumping. Men go deep sea diving, right? Free diving. Men jump out of airplanes, parachutes and shit, right? Like go bungee cord jumping for no
Yeah,
reason. And, it's like, or they drive entirely too fast and lose control of the vehicle and flip over and die. So it's not surprising.
right.
Although I was not flirting with, like, for me, I feel like death was following me for a long time in my life, with the fires and the car accidents and all this other
That's
shit that
right.
I have.
Reggie caught himself on fire, you guys.
I didn't catch myself on fire, but I definitely had my Richard Pryor moment.
Well,
Um,
how else would you call that?
I didn't catch myself on fire. Dude, a wall of gasoline and fire came hurling at me. I was trying to get out of the way of that shit. And then I got hit. Right? Like it
Well,
wasn't,
you
I
started
was,
the fire, is what I'm trying to
no,
say.
I didn't start the fire.
You didn't
I,
start the
I didn't
fire.
start the fire. No.
How'd the fire start?
I was with this other kid. I can say his name now because this is statute of limitations. I was with this kid named Maurice Wiggins who lived around the corner from me. He came over
Motherfucking
to my
Maurice.
house. Huh?
Motherfucking Maurice.
Nah, no, no hard feelings. He was young. We were young. Um, it was August 7th, 1986. 1986. Yeah. Um, he long story short, man, there was gasoline and I had matches because we used to burn my mom's old papers in the backyard in a big barrel. And so I had matches in my pocket and he came over to ask me to go cut some grass with him or whatever. And we got to the people's house. They weren't there. And so he was kind of intrigued about like what would happen if you set gas on fire. But we were young, right? We didn't know. And I was like, I wasn't fascinated with fire because I had already been exposed to it with burning the papers and stuff. So I had no fascination. Like I knew that it was hot and it would burn you, right? Like I knew. So what he did was, and this is the mistake he made, was I was like, that's on you. I gave him the matches. He lit one, he set it on the ground, and then he poured the gasoline, a highly
Oh,
flammable liquid,
fuck.
on top of the match, and then it came up and he dropped the thing. And this is what's messed up is his parents, maybe I don't know if they knew this or not, but it's illegal to keep gasoline in plastic containers because it's such a highly flammable
All right, I'll just
substance.
melt it.
It can melt it. So it should have been in a metal container. Had it done that, then I don't know, maybe it would have exploded. I don't know, but it was melting inside this thing and it was like a ball of fire. And he kind of kicked it to get out of his way and he had kicked it in the street and he was like, but what if a car comes? And he got scared. And it's like, yo, as an adult now, I go, yo, leave that shit in the street.
Gives a
It'll burn
fuck.
out.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it'll
yeah.
burn out. But as a kid, worried about that shit, he goes and he kicks it again. And the next time he kicked it, um, it's like the third time because he kicked it twice actually. The third time he kicked it, his foot got underneath and it came in my direction. And it was just like this wall of fire and gas that came toward me. I had on a tank top with no sides in it. I first turned to my right to run, and the first part hit me here. And then I turned too far and I looked at the house. If I had just kept straight, then I would have only gotten burned on the top of my ear, on my right leg, and my side, right? But because I turned too far in my mind's eye, I didn't have anywhere to run. So I turned back the other way, and then that's when I got completely doused. So this is all in the fraction of a
Jesus.
section. It's like, shoo, shoo. and then I get doused, and that gets the inside of my right leg, the back of my left leg, my calf, my arm, the top of my ear, and on the front of my right leg. I run across the street, I slide in the grass, I roll over, and that
Well,
was the
how'd
beginning
you
of.
know that? You already knew about stop, drop, and roll or something?
Yeah, I was a Boy Scout growing up. So,
Of course.
and I saw grass, so I ran across the street to where the grass was, rolled in the grass, got up, and that changed my life, bro. Like, because we were leaving for California on August 8th. My mom and I were going to Los Angeles where my uncle, who was actually my grandfather that I didn't know at the time, is where he lived, and we were going to LA to look for a home. We were going to move to Los Angeles. And I got burned August 7th. I got burned. We were going to LA August 8th. That trip was canceled. I was in a hospital for roughly about 2 weeks, almost over two, a little, maybe, yeah, right at like 2 weeks for sure, and then maybe a day or so. And then fucking started school, and I wasn't
So
completely
was that
healed.
decided not to move after that?
Yeah, yeah, there was no moving.
Wow, that is a
I
trip.
mean,
And
medical
that kid
bills.
he didn't get anything on him at all.
Nope, he didn't get hurt at all. And you
He,
know what's funny? What's funny is that I didn't see him for a long time after that, maybe like a year or two. He came by the house after that just to say hi, and we caught up for a minute, and then he left, and then I never saw him again until recently, where I was telling this story to somebody else, and I was like, "Yo, let me look this dude up." And I went to high school with a kid named Jabri Wiggins. So I was like, yo, what's the chances that this kid named Maurice Wiggins and another kid named Jabri Wiggins? So I check my friends on Facebook. I'm friends with Jabri Wiggins. I go look at Jabri's friends. He's got a cousin named Maurice Wiggins. I look him up and I'm like, oh snap, this is the dude. I hadn't seen him since 19. So this happened in 1986, fall of 86. I probably saw him again in like 1988. And then I hadn't seen him again until I looked him up in 2024.
he didn't come see you in the hospital.
Nope.
And then when he saw you the following year, did he apologize?
Um, I can't recall. I mean, all I
Did he
know
feel
is that
bad?
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think he understood what was happening
How
because
young were you guys?
I mean, I was starting the seventh grade and
Mhm.
he was probably starting the sixth grade. You know what I mean? Like we were right there, like
Yeah,
12 and 11. Um, yeah, man. And
that's
you know, I
crazy.
got no hard feelings. Like we were kids, shit happens. But no, I did not set myself on catch myself on fire. Okay, so don't put that narrative out there at all.
I didn't know someone kicked a firebomb at you. That's even worse. Your fucking reflexes couldn't even avoid it.
What are you talking about? My
Whoa.
reflexes is what
Whoa.
saved me. No, because honestly, like I said, if I had gone straight to my left, then I would, because it's coming like this. It's not like it's a flat surface. It's like it's
Right.
underneath, and so there's parts of it that hit me before the whole thing hit me. So if I had just gone straight to my left, just the top of my ear, my side, and a little bit on the front of my right leg, three spots, right? But because I turned too far, because there was a house behind me, the house was here. I turned to run away this way, and when I saw the house, I was like, oh, I can't go that way instead of just going this way. So then that's when I turned and I got doused. And that changed, dude. That was the beginning of like not wearing shorts for, I mean, come on, like 2.5, almost three
Oh, because you
years.
had like scars all up and
I had
down your
scars
leg.
on the back of my legs. So I didn't wear shorts at all. I was embarrassed. Now, if you looked at me, like even now, if you look at me from the front, if I were naked standing in front of you, you wouldn't see any scars. But if you look at me from the back, you'll see the scars on the back of my legs. The ones on my arm has healed. The one on top of my ear is healed. The one on my side is still, you can still see it. It's still discolored because it was first and second with like a touch of third degree right in the middle. The back of my right leg on the inside of my right knee, that was third degree. That was the worst. That was third degree. It was like third degree, and then as it spread out, it was like third, second, and first. Right?
Damn, bro.
Yeah. And that joint, I'm gonna tell you right now. Look, I'm not the one to wish bad on anybody. And if I was the person, I still wouldn't even wish getting burned on anybody because that shit, like first degree burn, like you know how it feels when you touch something hot and you get a blister, right? You
Yeah.
know how much that hurts? Just
Right.
imagine that over a large portion of your body. And then second degree is even worse, but third degree doesn't hurt that much because all the nerve endings are burned, are gone. So you don't even feel anything. So, that one, but it's the healing when the nerve endings come back and they got to clean it every day to keep the infection down because it's a large space. It's like your body wants them like make a scab, right? But you can't have a
Uh,
scab on a large portion of your body, so they have to clean the new growth every day. That hurts.
yeah,
And
I remember you saying that because did you say like they were going to give you a bath or you thought, oh, this is going to be nice, a sponge, but it's like a fucking Brillo pad and they
well, it's
scrape the burnt
not a
skin
Brillo
off
pad,
you?
but they had this. Well, they had to clean it for one because I slid in the grass, so they had to get all the grass and gravel and dirt and stuff out of it. Um, and then the best part about all of it was every day, every day after they would, they cut the bandages off, and they'd have to clean the new growth so that it wouldn't scab over. Then they would take this really cold cream that they had in the fridge. It's a thick white cold cream that they would just take out and they would slather over the areas because like look, most people of color don't get sunburned, but white people get sunburned all the time. So your body will hold that heat, right? Even afterwards. So the cold cream helps bring the heat out, all right?
So that
And
was a nice feeling when they hit you with
oh, dude, it was like I'm laying on this table as a 12-year-old, like holding back tears because it hurt so much. And I wasn't a kid who cried a lot. Like I have a high threshold for pain, but I'm sitting there like on the verge of crying because it hurt so much. But they would put that cold cream on, and it was like, oh,
yeah.
and it felt so great. Then they wrapped me up. But this is the other part of it. I can't believe I never told this story on here. The other part of it was at one point the doctors noticed that I would walk with a limp. I didn't bend my right leg because I was burned so severely in
Oh,
the bend of my leg. And they came in and they were like, "Hey, just talking to me bedside manner stuff. Like, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm okay." They're like, "Hey, you play any sports?" Because physically, because I remember I got my first weight set in sixth grade, so I had already been doing, lat raises, military presses, curls, running. I played baseball. I played basketball. So physically, my body looked like an athlete's body. And they're like, "You play sports?" I was like, "Yeah, I played baseball for a long time, and now I play basketball." And they go, "Okay, well." We noticed that you're walking with this limp. What, what's going on? I go, well, it's just hard to bend my leg, right? Because the injury is just doesn't feel good. And they were like, well, in order for that muscle to heal properly and have the same range of motion and for the skin to have the same elasticity, you have to bend that leg. And if you don't, you could potentially walk with a limp forever, right? And I was like, wait, what? So, dude, I was sitting there all day. After that, I was sitting there just bending this leg all day, just trying to get it going. But I couldn't bend it a lot. So just imagine if my leg was the other way. It was like I could only bend it like this much. And then
ugh,
every day I would just work it more and more until I got the full range of motion, right? Until I got the full range of motion. I was like, and I was
that
walking through the
is
hospital.
crazy.
Dude, and I'm doing this at 12, bro.
That is.
12.
I
So
do remember though, like as a kid, you are into fire. Like I remember when I got over my Star Wars toys and I started lighting them on fire. I lit one on fire and I was like, "Ooh, look how he melts!" It was like
you were lighting your toys on fire?
one toy. I lit a stormtrooper. I remember a Star Wars stormtrooper, one of the snow troopers too. He looked cool, but I lit that motherfucker up.
So I never did any of that shit. Once you get burned,
Yeah, you
right?
probably don't even want to go near it.
Yeah, I'm like fire. Yeah, no, it's real. It's real.
Yeah,
It's devastating. It is not something to be played with. It is to be respected, right?
they say it's one of the most painful ways to die.
I don't know if it's that painful. I think psychologically, like the heat of it at the moment. But remember, once the nerve endings are burned, then you don't feel anything. It's just the initial moment, the shock of
Mm.
like seeing it, but your body goes into shock. You don't even feel it. The adrenaline is so strong that you don't feel it, and then you just die. But so that story helped me build an enormous amount of respect for fire, right? And I've shared this story too, but getting pushed into a lake when I was 8 or 9 and almost drowning. Like there's two white kids swimming that pulled me out, so almost drowning in a lake, like legitimately not just kind of doing the thing. And my nephews and extended family are sitting there watching because they're kids and they don't know what to do. And it just so happened these two kids are swimming in the lake and they see me going, and I was lucky enough to touch the bottom to just keep bouncing up and down. They come over and pull me out, and I was in swimming lessons the next day. So
Jesus,
with
Reg.
being being on fire and being burned and being in the hospital for 2 weeks and being pushed into a lake and like almost drowning, I have the absolute utmost respect for fire and for water.
Yeah, it's like Reggie
Like,
versus the elements, man. Like,
yeah, yeah, straight
like
up.
if Captain Planet, that must scare the shit out of you. Fire,
Nah,
water,
dude, I'm not
earth,
afraid of them anymore.
wind.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not
Then
afraid
what
of it
about that
anymore.
time when that wind almost blew you up out of the air?
Well, there is a moment where the wind. No, I'm joking.
A
I got no
tornado.
wind. Yeah, really. Nah, man. I think what it did was honestly, adversity builds character, right? You
Yeah.
build respect for the elements and understand like how fragile life is in a certain way, and understand what it takes to persevere, to get over something, to get through something. Like when I got pushed into the lake, bro,
Who
and I
pushed
got
you?
my nephew named Rashi.
So you got a nephew trying to drown you. You got a neighbor trying to burn you. Damn, right?
Yeah. I was in a car accident one time. It was like a 7 car collision. I was the only one hurt. I go, damn, it's 7 cars and nobody else got hurt but me.
That's what. How old were you then? You were driving?
That was my 8th grade year. No, I wasn't driving. My
Oh,
friend,
okay.
my friend Billy's mom was driving. We went through the light on yellow, or yeah, we went through the light on yellow, and the car behind us ran the red light, but the traffic was so backed up that we had to stop pretty quickly, and then he just plowed into the back of us. So boom. And we got pushed forward, and I caught myself on the dash. We were in a pickup truck. I caught myself on the dash, but then when we hit the car in front of us, it was like, right? And
Uh,
the window was right here, and my head hit it, and it cut me right back here. Blood is like cascading down my shoulder, like it's just pouring out of my head. I had to get 7 stitches right here. Uh,
7.
I had to get 7 stitches. But I mean, it's like, and my heart was pumping, so the blood is like it's just shooting out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But yo, props to my boy Billy, who I got to hit up. Today's his birthday. Um, Billy was a Boy Scout with me. Man, Billy took off his shirt. He
Oh
had caught his
man, fuck
mom,
the
and
shit
he
out
was
of you,
sitting in
bro.
the middle.
Oh, sorry.
He was sitting in the middle. He kind of caught his mom from hitting the steering wheel, and then uh, when he was done, he sees me bleeding. He takes his shirt off, he wraps it up, and he pushes it against my head to stop the bleeding to add pressure.
Jesus.
Yeah, and so shout out to my man Shep.
Did I tell you the time when my first went driving with my dad and he hit his head?
No.
So the very first time he ever did take me driving, he's like, "Okay, I'll show you how to drive." But my parents are already divorced. He's like,
Mhm.
"Be outside the house 8 a.m. on a Sunday." So,
Why does your dad always sound like a drill sergeant? And he
oh,
already
that's
sounds
how he
like he's
ran
mad
things,
at,
dude.
he sounds like he's mad about everything.
Oh
We're
yeah,
gonna
because
have breakfast and you're gonna
well,
eat it. Right?
he
Like,
didn't well he was they're freshly divorced too, so like because
oh,
I
he's
only
angry.
lived with my mom for a year after the divorce, and then she kicked me out and I had to live with my dad. So within that year
Well, we'll go back
it
to
was
that.
pretty fresh. So he goes so he pulls up at 8 a.m. He doesn't pull into the driveway. He refuses to go into the driveway now of his old house since the divorce. So I have
Okay.
to walk all the way down to the street.
That's funny.
We get in, and the Chevy Chevette. Now you know the Chevy Chevette. They
No, I
call it
don't
the
know.
Chevy Shove It. It was a small, tiny hatchback. It was a shitty
Oh, that's what the hatchback. Okay,
two-door
okay,
hatchback, is what it was.
okay. All right.
So we get it, and so the first thing, I don't know if you did this the first time you learn how to drive, but I didn't know when you take your foot off the gas, a car moves automatically.
Yes. Yeah.
Nobody told me that. So once I get in, it starts. Well, what the fuck? Hit the brake. So so we get in, and I remember, dude, it was January, okay, and it was
Cleveland, so it might be a little snow.
oh, it
Is
was
it?
a little snowy, a little slick.
Yeah.
Sunday
Yeah.
morning, and he thought there'd be less people on the road, so he goes, "Oh, we'll go to the golf course." He liked to go to the golf course every Sunday, even if it was snowy and frost and you couldn't golf. They would just hang out in the clubhouse and bullshit with the guys, right?
Okay.
So I remember we're driving, and it's like 20, 30 minutes, and I'm like, oh boy, this is all right, it's going all right. And we're coming up, and I don't know really where this is. And he's like, okay, coming up here, you make a right. You make a right. I quickly turn it, and I'm sliding, and there's the driveway on both sides, and in the middle is like the sign and whatever, and a tiny little pole, probably like 3 feet high. And I just go right into that pole. Boom, right?
Oh.
And my dad is not wearing a seatbelt, and his head hits the windshield. Blood starts coming down his head. And I'm like,
Oh, wait, it didn't damage the car when you hit it? It just
well,
bumper.
what it did was all it did was it put a dent in the bumper. The pole put like
Okay,
a perfect
okay.
little wraparound dent in the bumper of the car, right? And my dad cracked the windshield with his head, right?
He
So
cracked it. How fast were you going when you were
not
slipping? You were
fast,
sliding
but
like,
20, not fast, but it
yeah,
was like
yeah,
out of control and turning and. So and I so then he's like, go back it up. And I couldn't, and he's
yeah.
trying. This guy, he backs it up and he gets it ready. And I'm like, oh, and I go, so we're gonna go see your friends now? He's like, hell no, I got to see your friends. Just hit the sign. Let's get the hell out of here. So then and I'll never forget this. This is a very good lesson. My dad,
Oh, that's
he goes, he goes, all right, well, drive us home. And I'm like, no, man, I just got an accident. I'm not going to drive. He's like, what, you're not going to drive? Because we get in the car and drive home. Are you afraid? We got to be afraid? And
right.
that was a really good lesson. And I fucking drove up and I was really concentrating the whole ride home. Never go.
Yeah,
Just, you know what I mean? So
yeah, yeah.
it was a really good lesson to just get back on the horse.
I was just gonna say, if you get bucked off the
Back into
horse, you
Chevy.
you got to get back on the horse. Because
Yeah.
if you don't, then the fear of riding the horse will
Will
get
always be
deeper
there.
and stronger, and you'll never ride a horse again. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
now look, I'm just gonna say this, man. Your pops did you a disservice. He should have taken you to an empty parking lot, right?
Well, we
Right? An
did
empty.
that for the parallel parking practicing.
Yeah, but even look, my mom taught me. Okay, my mom taught me how to drive at like 13. Right?
Damn.
Yeah. Well, and this is part of why your boy had to go through therapy is because at 13 she was older. Remember, my mom got me at 56, so by the time I was 10 she was 66. By the time I'm
Damn.
13 she's 69, right? So
Right.
for her she was like,
I need
I
help.
need, yeah, she's like, I need to teach you how to drive in case something happens, you can take me to the hospital, right? Like,
No, that's a good point.
that's a good point, right? So, but that's kind of a, excuse my language, that's kind of a mind fuck at 13 to be like, so wait, you could potentially die. You're gonna die, and I got to take you to the hospital. Like something's. Wait, that's my friends aren't worried about this,
No.
right? But she taught me how to drive at 13, and she used to just take me to empty parking lots, and I would drive around the parking lot and come to a smooth stop and back up and turn around the thing and come back, and it was like a whole thing. But I've been driving since I was 13, but she started me at the parking lot, bro, where
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't hit anything and it's wide open.
Well, I'm sure if she had a golf course to go visit, she'd take you there. All right,
I
I
mean, but
found
that's
this
probably
video.
because we'd be going to work because black people wasn't allowed to go to the golf course, not to
Yeah,
play.
that's true. You a golf course, what?
Yeah, exactly.
I found this video of me playing with the hacks.
Oh, nice. All right, let's
I'll
see what
I'll
we got.
set this up real quick. Oh fuck. Hold on. Hold the phone, everybody. How do you make it bigger?
Uh,
Here's doggy's playing with his toy.
oh, good.
All right, here we go.
He's happy.
Yeah, he's a happy dog, dude. He loves his
He's
buddies.
like, I like you.
All right.
Oh boy, here we go. You got to set up this video. This is 2012, March 18th, 2012.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
cow.
There's the date. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's
So in
almost
what's today? Today's the 13th. In
13
5 days.
years ago.
Yeah, in 5 days, 13 years ago. Exactly 13 years ago.
Where's the picture of us? It was us. Come over
Yo,
here.
straight up, shout out to the hacks because of other comedians that were part of it. Shout out to Matt Morales, Kevin Kamiya,
And
uh,
Max Curry. Those were the
Max
original
Curry.
four. And
Yeah.
then Cameo left, and that was kind of a bummer once Cameo left because we missed our foursome. And then Matt I mean, I'll be straight up. He kind of messed up. He got this older guy in the group, Pete, and Pete was fine and nice and all, but he didn't click with us. Like we were more punk and he was more old school rock. You know what I mean? It just
Okay.
didn't really vibe. And it's kind of, and then even writing songs with him wasn't that easy. Like Kami is just chill. He's like, I'll just do whatever. But then it was just not as fun. And then eventually Matt quit the group.
And left his friend there.
Well, really, what he did was he quit. So then the band would break up and he was already planning on starting another band with him and Max. So
Oh wait, Matt was starting another band with.
with Max, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so me and Pete were out. Pete didn't care. It was ever to him, but I was really pissed. And I always tell this story because that week we had a gig at Stanford. You remember those gigs at Stanford? They were the
yeah.
best. And it was me and Matt, and he was going to drive, and he also had to pick up Marcelo Arguello.
Okay.
And so the three of us are in the car, and I'm just not even talking to Matt. I'm pissed, dude. And Marcella gets in the car. She's like, "Damn, something going on between y'all." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." Matt doesn't want to admit. Just does. Matt just doesn't have the courage just to tell me he wants to quit. He's got to be a pussy ass, hide behind it, and go sneak off, leave, and then starts. So there's the whole thing,
Wait,
right?
went in like that?
I don't remember. Yeah, there was definitely some beef. I don't
Oh
know. I
boy.
was
All
mad.
right. You're mad.
So we're
Yeah.
going to Stanford and we're taking 280, which is a beautiful ride during the day. It's a lot prettier highway view than the 101, the trees and this and that. But at nighttime, there's deer and shit. And this deer ran across the highway and Matt like swerved it and like saved all our lives in that moment. And then I was like, we're all like, oh. And I was like, all right, Matt, I'm not gonna be mad at you the rest of the day. You saved our lives.
That's funny. You said the rest of the day. He
Yeah, oh
saved your
yeah, they still
life.
was pissed a few
He's
days
still
after.
pissed.
But
Um,
anyway, this is
okay.
when he had his new band. They're playing. I came out to watch them, and he invited me to come up and sing our one song, the Beatles song, the night before.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. It's a little loud and crazy.
Turn it down a little bit.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said turn it down a little bit. Turn it
Oh,
down just a
down.
little bit. Yeah, turn it down. You got to go down a little bit. You
All
just
right,
blew out everybody's eardrums right now.
here we go again.
Here we go.
I was just what's that jump? They just start crashing into people.
Yo, shout out to my man Sal Kalani, a true punk rocker, bro. Holy cow. Bumping into people all over the place.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, I love comedy, but there's something about music, man. You feel invincible on that stage, dude.
Yeah,
And another thing about it, you don't need the crowd. It's cool when they're with you, but even if they're not, you could have the time of your fucking life.
that's very obvious. That is very obvious from that clip.
I'm
people
like, you
watching you
coming
like
with me
this.
or not? But I'm doing me,
I'm
motherfuckers.
doing me. Oh man, that was great. I gotta admit, that was exciting seeing a young Sal Kalani, a young, lean Sal Kalani jumping
Eh,
around.
I'm still
How does
pretty lean. I'm lanky. I'm slender. Um, I I do remember too, like one of the first times we did a mic, and Matt could be a little more insecure or whatever, and at least like performing wise, where I just didn't give a fuck.
don't we just say a little more cautious? That's all. A
Yeah,
little more
maybe. I mean, he's
pragmatic. Like,
definitely, I'm gonna be honest, he's the more talented one. Like he could play better and he could definitely sing and all that. He's melodic. And originally I was just gonna sing that song, but it didn't work, me doing the verses. So we had Matt do the verses, and then I thought it came out great on the album. But so anyway, one of the first times we were doing this mic, we were doing this room in the inner Richmond, the Rocket Room, and
I remember that upstairs, right?
yeah, and
Yeah.
we had
I
like the
was
big
there. I was there for that show, I think. Or at least one
yeah,
of
there's a
them.
couple. Well,
Okay.
all I know is so I'm left-handed, right? And the first song we do is Bollocks, which is
Oh
a
yeah, I like Bollocks.
yeah,
Bollocks was
Bollocks
good.
is a good song, dude. Here,
Yeah.
I'll just pull it up real quick. And it's a song that I had for a while, like the riff. And then I wrote it and yeah, with Matt or whatever. I mean, he helped me like put it together. But yeah, share sound, advance, share sound, stupid computer. Okay, but all right, yeah. So real quick, so this is one of our first songs. Can you hear that?
Yeah. I remember this one. I like this one.
The riff. That's all me, baby. It's always my favorite, like that feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold up. This is very it sounds like AFI and Green Day.
Yeah, very. It's got like an Irish vibe to it.
Yeah.
Met my lady on a Saturday night. Used to always love, now we just fight. Can't stand it, gotta find a way out. I feel violated, suffocated, can't
Even masturbating on bollocks.
Symbolics to the woman. Symbolics. Symbolics to the woman. She broke my fucking heart. Now the breast and left all alone.
All right, so that's bollocks.
Yo,
And,
that was my joint. I love Bollocks. I still got my hacks. You know, I still got my hack CD.
Oh, do you? Yeah,
Yes,
there's very
sir.
few left.
Yes, I still got my joint.
I designed the cover to that Hacks album.
I know the little cartoon character.
Yeah, like I
with the-
originally did it, and then
the
Matt
triangle with the
changed
Marge
stuff
Simpson
around.
hair. Not Marge, but the Maggie Simpson haircut.
It was that. I mean, I don't know if that's what I would say it was.
Oh, okay. You weren't going for that. Okay.
Let me see if I have that. But anyway, so we did this show, and you know, and like that's me. I'm growling, I'm singing, I'm blah blah blah. And then Matt, he was singing his song, you know, and it's probably a better song or whatever, but it's more melodic and less punky. And then I remember the guy in the crowd yells out, "Let Lefty sing!" And
He's
Matt
like, I
was
want to.
"What?"
He's like, I want to get back to that garage band, that
Yeah, like
grungy.
that fucking
Like,
crazy
rah, rah,
shit.
rah,
Well, here's the album. I don't know why I have the back on here. This is the back cover of it. But yeah, so here's the guy. My guy was originally his whole body, but Matt thought we should just do the head.
Yeah,
So
that's it. So I was
yeah.
talking about the zigzag hair. Life
Yeah, yeah.
sucks.
He
The
almost
hacks
looks
rough.
like the fucking what's the one with the time travelers? They're based off of Back to the Future. Um
Time
Rick and
travel.
Morty.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, before it was a thing.
Yeah.
I was ahead of my time.
Yeah, absolutely. Who knows? You know how Hollywood is. They may have seen it
Yeah,
and
they
then it was
probably
like
did. Fucking stole it from
and
me.
stole it from you. That's it. That's it. That's how they do.
Oh yeah, like
It's called
here was my
creative
original drawing.
inspiration.
I kind of like this too because I here's my original one of him ripping
Oh.
through a heart, and he's got a piece of it in his mouth,
Jeez.
and run the hacks. But Matt really liked the face, and he's like, "Oh yeah, let's just do that face."
Dude, you this broken heart thing. This
Oh,
theme has been going on
never
for a
ends.
long time.
It never ends,
It
baby.
never ends.
All
Ain't nothing
right,
worse than
so
a
let's
broken
see.
heart, dude. That sucks. Broken hearts.
We got the hacks. We got the fire. We got me playing Foxy Lady. I don't know. I think that's it. What else we got to cover, Reg? Oh, I know what we got to cover.
What's that?
Come
Oh,
on.
actually, you mentioned something earlier about a movie. Uh, I watched I watched a scene yesterday from I watched two scenes yesterday from Jackie Brown.
Okay.
Okay. The first scene is Robert De Niro and the young chick walking from the
When he shoots
mall
her. Yeah.
where she just won't.
Lewis.
Yeah,
Lewis.
Lewis,
Oh,
where's the
she's so
car?
annoying.
Where's the car? Is it this aisle? Is it the next aisle? Where is it, Lewis? Huh? I don't
Lewis.
know. Did you know? And he's like, you know what? Oh, don't say another word. Shut up. Don't say another words. She's like, look. He's like, I'm telling you, don't say another word. And she goes, Lou, pow, plop, plop. But it's not so much what he did that I want to talk about. What I want to talk about was the brilliance of Tarantino, because in that scene, when you watch it, you feel the tension build. You can
Oh, he's
feel,
always good at doing that.
yes, you feel his annoyance and you feel her just needling him and
Yeah.
him just trying to maintain. Like he's like, look, I got this money and we robbed this place and I'm just trying to get out of here so I can get to this guy and do a thing. And I can't find my car, so I'm a little off kilter a little bit because I don't know who's looking for us or who's coming or whatever the case may be. And she's just like, and she's literally just doing this to him, like just kind of hitting his head almost in a certain way. And to see him get to that point where he loses his shit, it was like I felt the tension building. Like I was like, whoa, like I could feel the anxiety a little bit that he was
Yeah.
experiencing. And I was like, whoa, shout out to Tarantino.
You never see De Niro look like that too. That's a funny look and whole character because he barely
Yes.
talked and stuff. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Oh, it was great. But then I watched the next scene. And the next scene was De Niro and Samuel L.
Oh yeah, you
Jackson.
shot my Supergirl.
And yeah, that scene right there. And I mean, you look at Samuel L. and the character he's playing and how he delivered it. Now look, De Niro is always he's a heavy hitter. He's always been a heavy hitter, right? Like there's no secret. And Samuel L., the guy is phenomenal. There's no question about it. But in that scene, when I say that Sam sold, I mean, every look, pose, word, reaction, everything was on point that it was like, yo, like I got lost in it, man. I
He
swear I
looks
got
like
lost in it.
it's just creepy and gross, like his little ponytail and his little
And this
thing.
little hair on his
Yeah,
chin.
yeah. He seemed pretty gross and
Well, but hold up though, real
yeah.
quick. Can I just say this part too? Is I thought Tarantino did a good job of establishing what his character was, because that opening scene where he convinces Chris Tucker to get into the trunk of the car, right?
Beaumont Livingston.
Beaumont Livingston, and then drove around the corner into
He's,
an empty
those
parking lot.
bumps and shit. I think he makes him go on the bumps first, just to
Yeah, exactly. And then opens the trunk and kills him in cold blood in his
yeah,
trunk. Like
yeah.
that scene right there sets the stage for who he is throughout the entire movie. Even when you forget, right? Even when you forget, you can go back to that scene and be like, oh nah, this the dude who killed somebody, who convinced somebody to get into the trunk,
Yeah.
right? And killed
It's
him.
great though that Delphonics they keep playing.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good movie, man.
I was at
That's a
the
good
bar
movie.
the other night and they had the 70s movie on
Okay.
and it was Pam Grier,
Oh
and
yeah, Jackie Brown.
yeah, exactly. And it's funny how like this was like 20 years earlier and she looked pretty much the same almost as she did she looked pretty good in Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
And but yeah, dude, all these women, it was weird. They're all in like scantily clad, like they had like bikini or not bikinis, but like shorts or military. They're in someplace in the jungle, and these guys are trying to hold them down, and then they go crazy and they're stabbing them. And
Oh
so
shit.
the total
What?
exploitation kind of crazy movie from the
Okay.
70s.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that shit was a trip.
Hey, I gotta throw this out there. Um, every black exploitation movie I've seen, and I may have said this recently, and if I did, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say it again. And if I didn't, you'll understand when you see one. Every black exploitation movie feels like the movie is this long, but it starts here and it ends here. Right? You're like, wait, when the movie starts and the credits, once they go through the title, the name, and everybody, and the movie starts, you already feel like you've missed 10 minutes of the movie, right? You're like, wait, hold up. How they start in mid conversation about something that we don't even know what they're talking about, and then when it ends, it feels like it ends before anything is resolved.
Right.
Like okay, was there a sequel? Like it feels like every first movie in a blaxploitation movie is a sequel, right? And it's the middle sequel. So we didn't even see the first movie, and we didn't even see the last movie. We just like you're stuck. Hey,
Oh, I
dude,
think this might be the movie Black Mama, White Mama. A black prostitute and a white revolutionary must form an uneasy alliance when they're busted out of prison, then pursued by guerrillas, bounty hunters, and the army.
gorillas?
Like Guer.
Okay. Like
Yeah,
okay,
this is it. I think this is it. Here, let me share this poster with you.
okay, because I've never seen this movie before.
I never really watched it either, but it was just on in the fucking theater or in the bar, and it was pretty funny. Yeah, this is it. They're like fighting
Dude,
in
look at this shit. Oh my God. Okay, and
Black mama,
black mama,
white
white
mama.
mama. Come here, ladies. Oh boy. Yeah, this is
That poster is sick though. I like that poster.
oh yeah,
Chicks
the
in,
blaxploitation posters are
where they
legit.
come from. This
Okay.
is fun. Come from. This is fun.
Come on, bitch. Damn. How many times she gonna slap her? Oh,
Oh,
there
you
we
know
go.
what's
Slap
funny
her
too? They
back.
just show random titties in these movies.
Yes. They
Funny.
both slapping each other back and forth.
Who is this guy doing? Necking her?
He's trying to get some.
Oh, shit is funny as fuck, dude.
Dude, I feel like we can make this movie right now. Like no script, just show up, walk into
We
a
can
bar
make
and
it
go.
over Zoom.
Dude, we can make it over Zoom. We can make it with our phones right now. If we walk into any dive bar and just say action, right? And just
Yeah, I
people don't
like
know
this
what's going on.
poster. I'm gonna get this poster.
Oh, dude, the blaxploitation posters are the best. Bring up Black Dynamite. Black Dynamite
Was
poster,
she in that
Superfly,
too?
Shaft. Well, Black Dynamite was like a parody by Michael Jai White. It was a parody of blaxploitation movies. Black Dynamite is arguably, not arguably, but Black Dynamite is one of my favorite movies of all time. Easy, hands down. A
Oh yeah.
a, a parody of a
Oh,
blaxploitation
this is
movie
from
in the era.
2009 though.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
He's making
okay.
fun of blaxploitation movies.
Right.
Okay, for example, let me see. Here it is. It's got stuff like this in it. Here's the
Oh,
scene.
he's got
Oh,
nunchucks. That's funny.
yes, he's got nunchucks and a big gun, the afro, and the thick mustache. And you got Kung Fu. You see the Kung Fu guy?
Yeah. He's
Um,
super bad. He's out of sight. He's Black Dynamite.
yes, sir. And they had an animated cartoon about it, like but it was an anime type of cartoon. Dude, it was funny. And he had a guy in his group that used to rhyme. He was like, when Black Dynamite's on the scene, it's gonna be mean. And if you're hungry, we got some collard greens. Like, you know. Um, but there was a scene in Black Dynamite. So here's the boom mic, right? Right. So he's like this. He's like, and you know what we need to do is we need to come together because as black people, we need to understand. And he's legitimately looking at the boom mic that's in the scene while he's talking to the people. He's distracted by it. So he consciously
That's pretty
is
funny.
changing his line of sight. Like, yeah. And another thing, before we move forward, we have to figure out what we're gonna do. Dude, it is fucking hilarious.
I think I
Fucking-
remember seeing the original Dolomite, and that's where you see the boom mic come into the shot.
oh, dude, it's
That's-
Dolomite. That's so low budget.
That's
I feel like this Dolomite was so low budget that when the movie was done filming, everybody who acted in it had to pay. They didn't get paid. They had
Everyone
to
who
pay.
had acted in it had to show up in the audience, which
Yes,
is what I
exactly.
need. Coming up, Brad, here it is, March 25th. I'm
Yes,
hoping
sir.
to get some people to this taping.
I don't know if I like that picture of you though. That face doesn't look like you. You look swollen.
Oh, it looks like I'm about to go in, dude. I'm zeroing in, bro.
Dude,
I
that
like
is-
because it repped the punchline. It's at the punchline. It gives a shout out to Jim McCambridge. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh, he took that picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it's got Jael, Cordy, his swatch.
His swatch. Okay.
Yeah. No, I
All
dig it.
right. Okay. All right.
Get
Well,
you
hey, look,
ready.
I posted it. I'll be there
Yeah,
Tuesday,
man.
March
You
25th.
got some of your friends. I messaged Ollie Peak. He never wrote back. He read it. He didn't write back. What's up, Ollie Peak? Where you at?
Ali is in Vegas, bro.
He lives in Vegas
He
now?
lives in Vegas. Yeah,
I
Ali
thought he
is in
lived in
Vegas.
Oakland.
No, Ali Peak is that's another guy that I played. Oh no, Ali Peak, yeah, he lives in Vegas. Ali played in the Philippines for 16 years, and then when he moved back from the Philippines, he moved to Vegas. He hasn't been back to the Bay in a long time. He grew up in Southern
I'm
California.
sure he could fly from Vegas there. He was a professional basketball player.
Hey, I'm
Oh,
look,
I didn't know that. I didn't know he's in Vegas.
yeah, he's in Vegas,
Well,
man.
when I was in Vegas, he didn't come out and see me.
He
All
didn't
right,
know. You got to
well,
tell me.
well, okay, well, that's good. Well, who else do you know, Reg? You can't just, get some more of your friends.
I
You
mean,
get that whole
honestly, I would
boat.
love to
Bring the
get
whole boat, dude.
what I'd like to bring is I'd like to get all the comics in the Bay. I think all the comics should come out to
Oh yeah,
support.
they should learn something.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know what? I got a bunch
I
of
don't care
jokes.
though. If comics come, fine. As long as there's people, I don't give a shit what it is.
That's what I'm saying. Look, man, we just get bodies in the seats, right?
Yeah,
Have
no,
all
that's
the
true.
comics in the audience so that way they're not sitting at the bar, right? Sit in
That's
the
true.
audience,
That's true.
right? Um, and just come out and support live comedy. You
I
should.
mean, it is nerve-wracking. There's the promotion of the show, there's getting the set together, and there's the filming part. But definitely the promotion of the show is the most anxious
Right,
inducing right now.
right.
And I'll be in Sacramento this weekend, so this will already have happened before this airs, but I'm gonna run the set a couple times. And well, the Delta of Sac.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh,
talk
oh,
about
that's right. You're doing the Stu
with
Koz
my
show.
man Stewie
Okay.
Kosh. I'm going there,
Stewie.
and yeah, we'll see how that goes. But whatever, it'll be good to work.
Yeah, dude, go run the set, bro. Just run
Yeah,
the set. Run the set.
yeah.
No, and this is the thing. This is the thing, especially when you're gonna be doing a long set, like an hour long set. There may be moments where you're not feeling it or something based on the crowd and what it is. This ain't about them. This is about you, right? Like you need to stay focused on
Right.
doing
Well,
it.
there's another advantage that people forget, and that is the power of editing.
There you
You
go.
know what I mean? You just edit
Yes.
out all this dead air. You edit out
Yeah.
what's next. You edit out. Let me look at which
Yeah.
Chaz told me he had a little set list set up on the stage, but you couldn't see it.
Who did?
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna have something somewhere because there's a lot of shit I'm covering, dude, and then some of it's newer. And and I'm not even 100% if the newer will make it in the special.
All right. You know how I feel about that.
Yeah, but
I like to put it
you
all
like to
right
be more
here.
memorized. You're more of a memorized. I'm more of a person in the moment.
What?
It's like,
What? What? Dude, there's nobody.
it's
Just
like comparing,
look, I don't even have to
it's like
respond.
comparing John Ralphio from what is it, Parks and Rec? You remember him, that
I
Italian
never
guy?
watched that show. I
Like
never
comparing
watched that
him
show.
to Brando. It's like we can't compete.
Ah, hilarious. I've never seen that. I'll
Who's
just put it like
another
this.
who's another Italian that we don't know too much about? I don't know
Okay.
many.
All I'll say is this. I'm not even gonna push back against that. I don't even have to because everybody who knows me and knew me as a comedian, they're like, "Pfft, whatever, Sal. Right? Like that's not even true. Now, what I did remember was my set list. Right. Well, I didn't have to go, hey guys, and another thing, like I didn't have it back on the back of a beer bottle, like, and another thing,
Well, sometimes I'm getting revved up, dude. I gotta like, whoo,
and
what am
another thing.
I?
That's
What
right.
am I
You
at?
guys ever hear about cow tipping?
I'm gonna, I'm trying to hit all the emotions in the world, so there
Yeah.
might be a lot.
I love those segues. It's like, yeah, and that's why Southwest Airlines suck. Mm. And that reminds me, cow tipping is a thing, right? Non sequitur, no segues from
Yeah,
Southwest Airlines to
Segways are
cow tipping.
overrated. There's some. I mean, I've been doing most of the set for a while now, so
Okay.
I was there's only like a couple segues I need to put in because a
Okay.
lot of it already kind of flows, which is nice. So
Okay.
that's good.
I mean, you don't have to have segues, right?
No,
Especially, I
but
mean,
I get like you definitely wanna, the topics kind of do blend into the next,
right. And
you know.
it makes a nice little, like it flows better. Or you
Yeah.
could just be like, boom.
I think I'll post it on the Instagram today, and I think I'll what do you think? I think I'll tag Ali Wong and Bill Burr, see if they'll retweet it or something. Because all I got to do is hit one button, and I'm sold out.
Yeah, that's true. But that means that they're endorsing you. And I don't know if they're going to
Hey
do
man, come on, good old friends, come on, y'all.
it.
They know I'm on the
uh,
level.
oh, wait, by the way, speaking of Bill Burr, did you listen to the NPR piece?
I did hear a lot of his clips. It was pretty good.
Yeah, but not
And
just the comedy clips, but the stuff about his anger
yeah,
and
yeah, I
like,
heard that. And he was
yeah, I thought
talking
it was really
about how
good.
he was in the beginning of his career and
Yeah,
angry. No, I love Bill. I love what Bill's doing now. I love that Bill is he's bucking it, the system, like where everyone else is just getting on board in the Trump world and the billionaire world, and Burr's like, fuck that. And it's cool. I have a little bit about billionaires in the set, and like I love everything that Bill's doing. And yeah, man, he's got his new special out on Hulu this
comes
week.
out tomorrow.
Yeah,
Comes out
Eliza just
tomorrow.
had one drop on Amazon
Who did?
this week. Eliza
Oh
Schlesinger.
yeah, I saw that. I saw that it just dropped.
Um,
Have you watched it yet?
no, I haven't watched, but I watched the opening to see how she opened, and it's always funny. She did it in Utah, of Salt Lake City, which is funny. That's where I worked with her the one time, and she
Oh,
has
okay.
that new little white dog.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was
No
cute.
longer, no, Blanche is gone.
Blanche's rest in peace. I did send her last time I messaged her, I saw because I was at Sack Punch and they have a picture of her and Blanche up on the wall. And then I looked
Oh
through my pictures and we got a picture of Blanche near the Salt Lake Cathedral, like the big Mormon church over there.
yeah.
And she like took the dog and put it up on the church, and I got it next to these big golden doors.
Oh, awesome,
It was
dude.
pretty funny. But I
Blanche was
remember like we
great.
were walking around that church and everybody's just kind of like looking at you because they know we're not Mormon. And they're like, and you couldn't go inside. We're just walking outside of it. But you're definitely getting watched. It was
Yes.
weird. Utah was the one place it was the most white people, and it was like two types of white, like Mormon white or meth white. There was like
Oh
very
wow,
few
there's
in
no in
between.
between.
Not even it didn't seem well, they came to the show, the in-betweens, but it was definitely
Okay.
weird. And the watered down beer is definitely different. But all
Uh,
right, well, wrap us up, Reg.
okay.
Oh, you know what? So when I'm coming up there, not this week, but next week, we should do one live again.
Yes, I'm down.
It's very popular.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
and now I have a space that we can do that,
Oh,
right?
cool. All
Yeah,
right.
I have a space where we can do that. So,
Cool.
all right, we'll do that for sure. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the special. So get ready to, get into the zone, bro.
So
Take care of
I'm
business.
not worried about that. Get people there. That's all. Once the people are there, I'll be in the zone.
There you go. All right, well,
All right, close it
hopefully,
out.
hopefully we can get all the comics in the Bay, right?
Yeah.
People you know, people you don't know who just come out and support live comedy and support a guy who's self-producing his first comedy special. It'd be nice to have bodies in the building, man, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll keep pumping it and
Thanks, buddy.
hopefully, and I'll be there. So,
All right,
all
brother.
right, well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode where we just talked about our lives.
Good stuff today.
Good
Good
stuff.
stories.
Character building events, right?
Yeah.
About perseverance and pushing through and not being afraid to get back on the horse when you get knocked off. So
Hey now.
hey now.
All right, get
So
back in the car.
yeah, get back. Well, you're not gonna drive? It's like it's a hit and run. Pop is an accident. Shouldn't I do something? No, you get back in and you leave the scene, right? Um, but all right, with that being said, the best thing you can do for us is like, share, and subscribe, or leave a comment, which is great too. We love to hear what you got to say. And with that being said, that's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and this is Spitballing. Peace.
Peace.